This next one's brought to us by FanDuel, guys. The Super Bowl is less than 2 weeks away, and just like every other game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving FanDuel users a chance to win a profit boost pack and make the most money possible on their Super Bowl bets. Just log into the app on Super Bowl Sunday. You'll find the profit boost in there. Apply them to your bets, win some money, and send in your winning tickets so we can feature them on the show. We'll talk football again in a sec, but last night the Cleveland Cavaliers scorched the Orlando Magic, their fourth straight win. They've won 6 of 7, 11 of 15 now, and in particular, Donovan Mitchell went crazy, guys. He had 45 points, was 15 of 25 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He essentially was their entire offense in the first half. Kenny, after the game, said he's shocked Donovan isn't in the MVP conversation. Not 100% sure I agree with that take. However, it's hard to argue what Donovan did last night. He's been incredible. And Dustin, let's get you in on this first. Cavs are starting to play some good basketball at the right time, and a lot of it is due to number 45.
Yeah, the problem is, this guy's having to do too much, in my opinion. But here's the thing. He can do it. If he wants to go out there on any given night, he can give you 45. He can give you 50. I just wonder the wear and tear on his body. How's that going to hold up when we get to the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, I still watch this team and feel like there's something missing. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. It's nice that they beat the Magic. The Magic's they're a nice team. I don't think that they're a contender. And I was there on MLK Day when they got shellacked by OKC, and that's the standard. And so I'm just still like, all right, whatever. We'll see what happens when the playoffs get here. But right now, they still are not even close to OKC. So that just gives me pause. But it's nice to have the win, and I'm not going to complain about wins. It's great to have the win. And, they got a couple against the Magic. That's great.
What'd you make it down last night? And the win in general?
Well, I thought a little first part in a game, I saw Black hitting these jump. I'm like, man, come on, man. You need to be shutting him down. Like the Magic was hanging around, and for like the first and second quarter, I started to think, Bankera played tremendous. Bane was balling. It just seemed like I hope this wasn't one of those games where the Cavs, we talked about how good they played the last couple games, and then they come out here and slip up against the Magic at home. But I thought when you watched it, there's two things that I thought were encouraging. I thought I like when Donovan is aggressive, and I like when he is aggressive and he makes sure that he understands what type of time we're on. If the rest of the team isn't doing nothing, Donovan's like, okay, it's time for me to figure this out, and let me put the team on my back. Before, I think early in there's parts of the season where Donovan would be just, hey, let's figure it out, Evan Mobley. Hey, Darius Garland, let's figure it out. He understands that they need to put some good games together, get a nice little streak together, and have those guys' confidence being building towards the playoffs. I think that's another big part of it, understanding that the guys are a little bit younger than he is, and they need that confidence to say, all right, listen, we might not be playing well the first half, but let's get on a bit of a heater and a little bit of a streak going forward. I also thought, and I specifically watched with Evan Mobley, and we talked about it on yesterday's show, about how Evan Mobley is being aggressive to the basket. And I'm like sitting there thinking, is he starting to develop a little bit of a pep move? I was like, man, I'm interested. He's able to get 2-3 strong dribbles in the lane, and he's been going to that jump hook, which has been more potent. I thought he was able to knock down some shots when they left him open. And the thing that I like is he's not playing around with it. Whether it's Bankero or whoever it is, he's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm to the hook. 1, 2, 3, and I'm to the rack. So it looks like he's starting to see that on film a little bit, especially during early parts of the game. You know how they used to always go to Kevin Love at the first part of the game with LeBron? They getting him the ball, and now he's getting to the jump hook. And I said, okay, maybe he might be developing a little package that way. So I thought he played well offensively. Still would like to see more volume. And then the rest of the team, some timely shots. Lonzo Ball, he didn't – Lonzo didn't hit no jumpers last game. But I do think that the team will look much different when you do get Sam Merrill if he's consistently healthy. and Max Strus, because now that really spreads the court out. And I think one of the things, the difference between why the Cavs look at what is missing, Dustin, you said this, I think the 3-point shooting is what's missing. Those guys where you're knocking down threes and the spacing is off a little bit because of that.
They only took 25 last night. And Bull, Kenny Atkinson said something after the game that I think he was talking directly to you when he said this. He said, and they were asked about them kind of turning the corner a little bit, playing better of late. He said, last year we won a lot of games, and we won a lot of games very easily. The ball was moving around all over the court. We were making shots. We were winning by 20. It was easy. It looked pretty. It was flashy. Even during this stretch, they've only had 1 or 2 wins that have been of blowout variety. All these games have kind of been a grind. He used the word gritty and intentional and fighting through some of the challenges of not having guys, of not shooting as well as they think they should, of having other teams shoot above their usual percentages and against the grain of what the numbers say. But he was proud of this team's grit. And he said, these are the kind of wins that we didn't have last year that didn't allow us to grow in certain ways as a team. And you've talked about that at length over the last probably 18 months of this team knows how to win when it's easy, but they haven't really found ways to pull out wins. Jason uses the term, playing with your left hand tied behind your back or playing left-handed in general, going against the grain. You look at this streak, 11 of the 14, he's not wrong. Most of these have been kind of drag out dogfights, and they found ways to win in ways I'm not 100% sure they did very often last year and didn't have to very often last year.
Well, I know we're going to talk about him more later, but I think a big part of that is Jalen Tyson. I got a good stat on Jalen Tyson later that really blew me away. We're talking about him later in the show, right? Or are we not going to have time with the breaking news?
No. We're going to do that no matter what. We're going to get Jalen Tyson his own topic.
So I'll save that for later. But obviously, it was a weird game because outside of Donovan and Mobley and Tyson, nobody else really shot the ball. I mean, no, I don't think anybody else had more than 7 field goal attempts the rest of the game. So Donovan it was one of those old school games where he took over and they needed him to, and he did a great job.
Real quick on that, Bull.
Yeah.
And when you look at Donovan, he took 25 shots. The way Orlando plays defense, they play so much of a drop coverage that they essentially say in a pick and roll situation, when you come off that screen, we are not giving you the bounce pass to the big, which is what the Cavs do a lot. So I meant to text you guys before the game and say take Don's over, because this team just favors against how it leads to him taking more shots. And Darius always, I know it's a physical matchup, but he always shoots the ball. He doesn't always make shots against Orlando. He's usually taking more shots than his career average. I meant to text you guys. Dustin, hand up. My bad.
Dude, I'm going to kill you.
I am sorry, but
no, I'm not going to kill you. I had a parlay on the game, by the way. I had a parlay on the game, and it was I had nothing including Donovan. I left him out because I feel like I take him too much and he doesn't hit. And of course, that was the night. It could have been a plus 40 night for me in the parlay.
Told you. My bad. Sorry, continue what you were saying, but that's part of the reason Donovan was so aggressive.
Yeah, and the defense obviously holding the Magic to 66 points after the first quarter was pretty impressive, and that was a staple of the team. Really, I thought in the last couple of years is their defense. And listen, we've said it already. There's nothing the Cavs can do in the regular season that is going to give us a high level of confidence going into the playoffs. But I do think they're playing their best basketball. They've won 11 of 15, and 3 of their 4 losses were to, not embarrassing losses. I mean, I know they got blown out by Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City's the best team in basketball. And they lost to who are the other 2? Minnesota and I think the Knicks maybe in the last 15.
And then Utah was the bad loss.
Right. There's only been one bad loss. A lot of the, earlier in the season, there were bad losses, it seemed like every couple of days. So the fact that they're outside of the Utah game, and if you want to say because they got destroyed by Oklahoma City, maybe. But overall, they're playing better. And I think, and we'll get to Jalen Tyson later, but the hope for the Cavs is that obviously they got to be healthy in the postseason. It's got to be all hands on deck, which they're not right now. But if they somehow can be, again, that's a long shot because this is a very injury-prone team. But if they somehow are, then maybe, we thought maybe Lonzo Ball would make a difference, or maybe it was Evan Mobley stepping up. Maybe if everything else is right, the difference could be Jalen Tyson, who was an afterthought, played no serious minutes last year in the playoffs. And right now, in some ways, he's this, and I think G alluded to this yesterday, and I agree. He's the second most like trustworthy, reliable player right now. You feel better. I feel better about him than any player on this team besides Donovan Mitchell at the moment.
Well,